Greetings, everybody. Welcome to Tucson Dowsers, October 4th, 2025 monthly Zoom meeting. Today, our delightful guest is Amy Jo Ellis, and she will be presenting Are Your Relatives Making You Sick? And using her full Court of Atonement to resolve the issues. So welcome. Amy Jo began her spiritual journey as a singer-songwriter, performing spiritually based events from California to Puerto Rico. At one event, Neale Donald Walsch stepped out of the audience and invited her to sing at his next retreat. At another event, the Dalai Lama walked up on stage and hugged her and told her that her song, Remember Who You Are, moved him to tears. In addition to being a performer, Amy Jo is also a spiritual medium. Her career underwent a drastic change in 2013 when she channeled a healing process called the Court of Atonement. Amy Jo is seeking a way to resolve some long-standing family issues. Her spirit guide instructed her to place the souls of all the family members involved in a Court of Atonement. The simple one-paragraph statement that they shared with her created profound results. Long-estranged family members began calling and talking as if the past conflicts had never occurred. Amy Jo began sharing Court of Atonement with family and friends at small events, and as a result, a 48-page ebook went viral. Healers around the world began using the Court of Atonement to enhance their preferred healing modalities. The results they have shared with Amy Jo are nothing less than miraculous. Welcome, Amy Jo. We're waiting for miracles again, and we know they'll happen. So thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you so much, and what a pleasure to be here, and thank you for inviting me.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, it isn't every day that I get to talk to people who are dowsers who totally get what I'm saying. Because I'll go out and do radio shows and whatever, and they're having me introduce, but half, 90% of the audience doesn't have a clue as to how I could possibly come up with the information. And with the dowsers, you're all aware. So it's really, really an honor and a privilege to get to come in and share with you guys. So I guess we're just gonna get started. And the class title is Your Family Making You Sick? And I would, that sounds like a strange way of thinking, but I assure you we're going someplace with that. The first thing I want to talk about is like magnetism. So we got a couple magnets here, right? When everything's going good, being around our family just feels peachy keen, or, like donuts. We can be really close together. Everything feels good. But when we have a problem with people in our family, then we start to repulse. And I can't force these magnets to go together. And it's tiresome to continue to try to force that energy. I'd like you to think about having a giant beach ball, and you're going to take it and shove it underneath the water. For a minute, that'll work. You can hold it down there, right? But it's taking all your energy to force it and try to keep it under the water. But then it erupts, doesn't it? It's boom, it all comes up. Well, when we are at odds with people and our loved ones, when we have disagreements and whatever, we are creating a friction that's palpable, that you can feel. This repulsion is what I'm going to call it. You can feel that repulsion, and we're burning our energy, causing ourselves stress, trying to just overlook the past, the things that people have done that have hurt us, that have been pushed under the rug. If you've ever heard yourself say in an argument, "You always do this," then you know that there are things you're still mad about that haven't been fixed in the past, right? I remember having gone to a lecture, and they talked about that the Hawaiian, the Hunas, that they talk about anger and frustration as a tangible item. They talk about it as being, it's like a heavy, hard rock. And when we kind of try to stuff that, they said, well, we just kind of open a little bag and we drop the rock in the bag and say, okay, well, I'm not going to think about that, and we hide it. But the bag gets bigger and heavier the more we just don't deal with it. And each time we get in an argument, the bag opens and all the rocks come falling out. And we say, oh, you always do this. That's why those sayings are there. Well, so I just want to give a little example here. Years ago, I had a major problem with music in my family. And my dad and my brothers and sisters we all sang. And my dad was the tenor for the singing group, the Sons of the Pioneers. And he had, at this point, stopped touring, and he kept saying, oh, we should put a band together. We should put a trio together. And I finally went to all the work of putting the group together, and we were having meetings and everything at the house. I don't want to go into too much detail, but then one day my sister showed up at one of the rehearsals at my mom's house, and she hadn't been a part of the group. And I was having trouble finding a part. And my dad said, hey, let's have Jenny try. And so my sister, who can just sing like nobody's business and does harmonies amazing, she just stepped right up and she sang that song like she'd been singing it her whole life, flawlessly. And so my dad said, oh, let's just have that be Jenny's song. Well, before long, I ended up being excluded from the trio, and the trio went on. So this is one of the things that the Court of Atonement has helped me recover from. And anyway, I had thought I had done a really great job of it because I wasn't feeling anything. But last week, this is so pertinent to this class, and this class had already been named. My brother invited me to go to an event in Arizona and sing with him. And lo and behold, I came down with a cold. Now, I haven't had a cold in 30 years. So for me, I mean, I've had headaches, I've had, different things come on. I've had infections, I've had other illnesses, but I haven't had a common cold in 30 years. And I couldn't figure out, why did I get sick? Because usually I can figure it out, but this time I just couldn't. And my husband said, hey, you came down sick after your brother invited you to sing with him at that event. And I have to tell you, I was over the moon excited to do it. I was happy to go do this, looking forward to it, thrilled. And yet I got sick because the unhealed hurts of the past got activated. Guess how long ago it has been since the trio stuff happened? 30 years. I haven't been sick in 30 years. And suddenly, as soon as this gets up, so it's the memories of the past that really, really get, I almost want to say under our skin, but it gets to the core of us. It hurts us in our hearts, and it hurts us in ways that we really don't think about, and we're trying to put it off. Well, 30 years ago, something that I did to try to get over being sick all the time was I made a list of every person in my family, and I made it on a sheet of paper, kind of like this. And I put a little test section on it, and I said, when I think about this person, and I rated the way I felt by +10 to -10. And so you're going to have a handout, or you should have a handout that looks like this, and it's got the +10 to -10 on it. And I made a list of each and every person around me, even my neighbors and the people I worked with. I mean, I really put a lot of people. And then I tested how does my health respond to this person? That's the question I asked. How does my health respond when I think of this person? And I made this big list. And one of the ones that was fascinating to me that dropped low was my little baby niece, Becky. She was, I think she was 5 years old at the time, and I adored her, absolutely love this little girl. And here my energy was dropping to a -8, a -8 on a 5-year-old. A 5-year-old that I had babysit for most of her life and just adored her. Cutest little Shirley Temple of a child you've ever seen. And I was like, what is upsetting me about Becky? And then I remembered when I was babysitting her and she was about 18 months old. She was walking across a tile floor and there was a step and she fell. She tripped on the step and she split her lip open and had to go in and get stitches. And I hadn't forgiven myself for allowing her to get hurt on my watch. Now, I wasn't thinking about that event. I just said her name and my energy would plummet. It was hidden from me, this amount of things. So where this energy of this friction of what upsets us comes from, we may never know. But we've got this tool now, the Court of Atonement, which you kind of heard introduced, is such a powerful tool to try to clear up the things that are going in the past. So we have the worksheet. Did everybody get a copy of it? I didn't get the link out, but I'm going to be putting it up on screen. If you didn't get it, you can go ahead and follow along. Use your finger to douse on the screen because I am going to share it on the screen. But I'd like you to think about a person, like to think about some person in your life, and then ask yourself, how does my health respond when I think of that person? Okay, so somebody put the thank you very much. I'm sure it was Jackie, put the link to the handout back up in the chat for you, so if you need it. Anyway, so think about a person, and then even if you don't have the dowsing chart, just ask yourself, how does my health respond when I think about this person? And then test in and see how it does. And and it can be somebody you're close to. And one thing I like to keep in mind is when it's less than 10, if it's a plus 7, there's still 3 missing from the top. It could be even better, the way you feel. Okay, yeah, somebody's saying minus 10. Okay, yeah, so Caroline Masters, she said that she just printed out the handout and she asked the first question, whose energy on this chart is negatively impacting, negatively affecting mine? And she got her mother, and then she asked again and got her father. And so I was gonna say that's part of the test, but part of it is on here. It's who on here is affecting me. So I'm gonna go ahead and now that you know that you've tested it and you found that this person that you're thinking of, that they affect you this way, give me just a second. I gotta get my screen up so I can find the share button. There we go. Share. So if you're, give it a second and all that stuff will drop away. So we're using this line right here, plus 10 to minus 10. I should have made those bigger on this chart, but I didn't. Plus 10 to minus 10. And then we're going to come in and clear this, and you use this statement. Give me just a second. I'm going to try to expand the size of that. See if I can. Well, let's just say it. I state our names, place myself, excuse me, and say your name again, into a full Court of Atonement with, and put that person's name there. I ask to analyze our timelines and resolve any and all reasons for the detrimental energies between us at their points of origin, throughout our timelines, our family lineages, and the entirety of our soul's timelines. I ask for amenable dissolution of this energy. I ask for restoration of peace. And take a deep breath and blow out. And you can repeat it. I ask for restoration of peace. I ask for restoration of peace. And now try asking again, how does my health respond when I think of this person now? And you can throw in the chat if you want to, with the changes you got from this to this. Now, one time may not bring you from the bottom to the top. You can do it a few times. Those of you who have been with me, there's a deeper statement. You can look at it and say, I asked to resolve the reasons we're angry with each other. We can just add that to it and say, I asked to resolve the reasons we're upset. Okay, -9 to a +2, -9 to a +3, -8 to a +7. So we're seeing some major, so -5 to a 0. I'll take neutral. From a 9 to a 4, -9 to a plus. So they said it twice, -7 to a +10. Wonderful. I'm seeing, you can see that there are results that come through to this. Oh, so somebody is saying, will there'll be a replay? The replay will come out, but I'm not in charge of it. So the Tucson Dowsers are recording it, and when they get it up, they'll put it in. I think they get it out within a week or two. And then they'll be sending it out via their list, and I will send the link out in mine. But if you want to make sure you get it, you should go in and sign up for the Tucson Dowsers newsletter, and then for sure you'll get it. I want to mention that we're at 280 people because we were saying we didn't know how many people were coming in. So we're at 280, which is, I think, what we did the last time. So that's just one person. So now I did at the top of that chart, I did put where it's got all these people. So since you're dowsers, most people are dowsers. If you are not a dowser, I promised to do a little demonstration on how to use this in case you got the chance. And let me share it this way. So if you're using this, just take anything on a string, a paper clip on a string, a necklace, anything, hold the pendulum over the center of the thing, and then ask the question and see where it moves. Some people are very concerned about holding their hand really still and not influencing it, and that is not your concern. Don't worry about it. Don't affect it. But what I will do is I will take the pendulum. What I have beginners do is take the pendulum, release it. Who on this chart is energy is affecting me, and allow the answer to come because of the momentum. So it says my father at this point. Well, it's still moving. Give it a second. Oh yeah, it's going to my brother. It shouldn't be him anymore. Sorry. Still trying to get out of that. But if you take the pendulum and you ask a question, don't, for beginners, I always tell them, don't try to hold it still because you'll block any intuition. You want to just kind of get some momentum and then let it settle, and you can allow it to go where it goes. I just wanted to make sure I gave that up to people who might be in here now. So what if it shows X friend and I have no idea who it could be? You'll have to ask yourself, because you know what friend hurt you and you're no longer friends with them. And so you'll just have to allow that to kind of come into your mind. I'm just, sorry, I'm looking at, so who is other? It just means it's not written on there. And if other comes up for you, say, okay, well, it's someone else that's not on here, and ask yourself, who's the negatively affecting me? And let the first thought that comes to mind be your answer. So somebody says, what if it is my grandmother who died before you were born? Yeah, well, put yourself in a court of atonement with your grandmother, resolving all conflicts. And then there is a statement that I use, which is called requesting transcendence assistance. So I am requesting transcendence assistance for that person, and that'll help take allow your grandmother to go where she's supposed to go and take any energy she might be trying to clear up through you off of you. So yeah, let me see, I'll type it in the thing there, requesting transcendence assistance. So one thing that I would like to say, I think I need to go back and talk a little bit about the Court of Atonement and the beginnings of it, because I'm pretty sure we've got people in here that I don't know, but I could be wrong. What I should do is come down and look at the gallery and go, am I looking? Oh yeah, I'm looking at all kinds of people I don't know in here. And so the Court of Atonement was a result of asking questions. When I started out as a dowser, I started out with a chart and it had an alphabet at the top of it. And I realized that they were trying to give me messages. And so I began receiving messages. Now, it's not a Ouija board. And the difference between a Ouija board and a dowsing chart with the alphabet is the quality of the person you're aiming to connect with. The Milton Bradley Ouija board was made to talk to the spirit of the dead. And they didn't like specify who. And when I'm trying to talk to a spirit guide, I'm asking for a high vibrational guide. I sit and recite the Lord's Prayer over and over and over to make sure my energy is nice and clear before I channel any information. But I got that alphabet chart going in the beginning, and pretty soon, while getting messages, I noticed that upon the first letter of the word, I knew the word. And then pretty soon I didn't need the chart at all. I could just hear the answer to a question. So I would ask a question and then write it out. Well, again, every time I'm going to go in and ask an important question, I am doing things to make sure that my energy is at a high level. So the Lord's Prayer, or clearing my energy in the ways that I know how, to make sure that I'm in a good place. I asked how to resolve a conflict that was causing my husband's family problems. And my guide told me to put their souls into a court of atonement. And I thought, what the heck does that mean? And after looking around and not getting anywhere with it, he said, well, a court is a place where you go to settle disputes. And atonement, I was looking up the word atonement and seeing forgiveness and seeing all kinds of different things about it. And my guide, whose name is Abraham, he said, just look at the word atonement. It says at one-ment. It's putting it all back to wholeness. It's bringing it all back to wholeness. And so I put my husband and his family and named each one of them by name, first, middle, and last, where I knew it, and put them in a court of atonement to resolve any and all conflicts between them, which isn't written in this statement, which surprised me. As for resolving all conflicts between us at their points of origin. And on my husband's birthday, which was 6 weeks later, all 5 of his family members who he hadn't heard from in 10 years called and wished him a happy birthday. So they called or texted. And so my husband's like, do you think that weird shit you did had something to do with this? And I went, well, yeah, I do. It was obvious, but it was a full year before I ever tried using it again. And this time, once again, it was my brother. And he was in an argument in the other room at 2:00 in the morning. And I just asked Abraham how to stop this argument. And he said, put their souls in a court of atonement. And I thought, that again, that's interesting. And so I did that. And the next day it worked so well. My mother came to me and she said, I want to know what you did to your brother. And I'm like, I didn't do anything. We used to, throw eggs at each other. So I'm like, I didn't do anything. She's like, no, he's getting along with everybody so well. Everybody's getting along. She said, I'm thinking you must have done something, because she knew about my energy work. And I said, oh, that's right. I put their souls in a court of atonement to resolve the conflicts. She goes, would you write that down? I want to look at that. And so if it weren't for my mother, I don't know if we'd be where we are today, because she took a look at it and she said, do you think this will help somebody who's already died? And that big rush of yes energy that you'll feel comes up. So yes. And I went, wow, it feels even stronger for a person who's passed. And that's because as a living person, we have free will. Our soul can take a look at this and say, well, I don't want any part of it, and nothing happens. So we're not forcing this energy on anybody. The soul can take a look and say, oh, I'm right now, the way things are, Amy Jo's learning a lot from this, so we're just going to leave it the way it is, and nothing changes. But once a person's died, there's no reason not to fix it. There's no like soul development once the life is over. So there's no reason not to fix it. So once you do it, and then the patterns stop in the family below. So it's very, very helpful to do the work when you know that loved ones have had feuds behind you in your ancestry. You can use the Court of Atonement for people you don't even know, but whose names you know, and your connection to them. So right now we did that one. I'd like you to take the chart and now ask that question and say, how does my body respond? Or no, I'm sorry. Ask the question, who on this chart is negatively affecting me? So find a person that's negatively affecting you. And I'll give you a minute once I see you come back up. And then you can say, how does my body respond to their energy? How does my body respond to their energy? Oh, and so Dana Mack would like me to, I guess, talk about restoration of peace, but I have an added line on there asking for restoration of peace. That's what I call a speed call. It means I've written a whole bunch of things and then programmed it so that when you put it in a Court of Atonement and you ask for restoration of peace, it clears the energy, and it even closes portals. It's programmed to really clear energy. I use it a lot for locations where really bad things have happened, like fatal car accidents recently on a shooting that happened nearby, to try to clear up that energy. So somebody asked, somebody asked what happens if you get other. It just means that they're not on the list. So you can ask yourself, who is it? Whose energy is it then? And allow the first person to come to mind, work with that. So, and if you're not a visualizer, just any way you think of that person, take it and go for it. So, oh, wow. So Wilma said that she had asked and she'd gotten other, and when she did it, or she got ex-friend, but she had no idea. And then when she asked who was it, she had a flash of someone she'd worked with back in 1980s. That's amazing. So yeah, and so it can be, it's important to honor your intuition and just kind of listen in. So now that you've done it, did you test how does your body respond to that person? I got President Trump. All right. Well, you're going to be putting yourself in a Court of Atonement to help resolve some of that, because every time his name is mentioned, it makes you sick. And we want to make sure we take that information out and not be sick. You can still have all your values and all of your views and disagree just as much as you want to, but somebody saying his name should not be hijacking your energy and allowing your so much stress in your body that your immune system has trouble. So let's go ahead and try clearing that again. I'll come grab that sheet. There we go. And so I'm still trying to see if I can blow this up for you, because I know that width, will that help? Wow, we really blew it up, but we blew it up so much that we have to come out of there. So let's try it again. I state our names, place myself and say your name again, into a full Court of Atonement with, I ask to analyze our timelines and resolve any and all reasons for the detrimental energies between us at their points of origin throughout our timelines, our family lineages, and the entirety of our soul's timelines. I ask for amenable dissolution of this energy I ask for restoration of peace. I ask for restoration of peace. I ask for restoration of peace. That's the one I like to repeat because it's got so much clearing in it. And since we're all trying to get an improvement here, I don't want 100 people telling me that they can't do it. So I see yawning, and that is a big sign that the energy's moving and shifting. Not everybody does. Some people burp, some people don't feel it at all, but just allow that energy to move. And if you don't feel it, just take a deep breath and blow out to try to clear that energy out. Now ask yourself again, how does my body respond to this person? And we definitely want to know. Wow, that went fast. How did that happen? We definitely want to hear from Marsha Green about Donald Trump. So -5 to a +1. So somebody got the hiccups. Yeah, sorry about that. So does it help? You can use the pendulum counterclockwise. It might be a nice outlet, especially for people who find burping or whatever or hiccups. You might try using the pendulum to see if that gives it an outlet without it passing the other way. So now it's a +10. As a matter of fact, when I was doing this, I have the hypothesis. My thought was, I'd like to have us do it again using Donald Trump because I think that our energy gets wonky. Even if you're a big supporter, you might find yourself having to defend a lot. And so there might be a reason. So since he's such a volatile name, if you have somebody and if Donald Trump isn't for you, think of someone who does that to you. And let's give that a try again. But right now I'm going to aim for Donald Trump, except for I've lost it. There it is. All right. So I state our names. Place myself, say your name again, into a full Court of Atonement with, I think it's Donald John Trump. I ask to analyze our timelines and resolve any and all reasons for the detrimental energies between us at their points of origin, throughout our timelines, our family lineages, and the entirety of our soul's timelines. I ask for amenable dissolution of this energy. I ask for restoration of peace. I ask for restoration of peace. I ask for restoration of peace. Take a deep breath, allow that to go. And I should have had you test if your energy was responding. And you could ask, how was my energy responding to Donald Trump before I started? And how is it now? And let us know if you see a difference. So somebody's saying, can you use an institution? Yes, you can. That's a good question. So, so somebody said, how does this impact my body? They got a 0. That's neutral. Yeah, she said, would that be neutral? Yes. So -10 to a +2. Excellent. So a still pendulum, I'd say it's neutral. So somebody asked, I just used the facilitator to clear up his name, so we're connecting to him. Oh, yeah, well, I think if we said his name, we were connecting at least to our emotions about him. I clear people up using the Court of Atonement, so I would say, I, Amy Josepha Richards Ellis, place American President Donald John Trump into a full Court of Atonement for the purpose of cleaning up his act, for the purpose of location security, which means I'm wanting to clear all the dark, dirty energies out of wherever he is. So location security. I ask for divine guidance for him. I ask, for him to be divinely guided. And I work for this no matter what political person is put in front of me. I'm very non-political. I don't get in the middle of this. I just work for them. Let's try to do my best to clean it up. So let me see what's going on here. So somebody's asking about putting him in a Court of Atonement with the world leaders. Absolutely, we do it a lot. That is being done. Okay, so somebody's asking how to use the how to demonstrate how to use the pendulum on the -10 to the +10 chart. I'm happy to do this again. I did do it earlier, but one thing I want to say is that you don't need it. You can just notice it on your feeling, notice how you feel. So I want everybody to think about puppies for a moment. So think about puppies or kittens or little children, whatever you like better. Make something that really makes you happy. And then now just that raises your vibration. And then when you stop, you can kind of let it settle 1, 2, 3. And then you can say the name of the person. So say your first boyfriend in high school's, or first boyfriend, girlfriend in high school's name, and see if your energy plummets or goes up. And you'll be able to know. She's saying, can you do this? No. Can you do this in general for everyone I've met in this lifetime? If you can think it, you should try it. But the thing is that it'll only work on information that's active. And so right now, you're sitting here, you're thinking about me. If I ask you, what did you have for breakfast today? You'll probably be able to come up with today's breakfast because that's really active. But if you have to think about what did I eat for breakfast 2 weeks ago on Monday, it's not going to be an active piece of information unless you figure out a way to go, okay, what date was that, right? What date was that? And you would say, okay, 2 weeks ago, that was, we'll say approximately September 20th. And we'll say it was September 20th. And on September 20th, I had a class. I was wearing this shirt and I spilled ketchup from my hash browns on it. I had eggs and hash browns, and you'll be able to bring that information up. When we're saying a person's name, it's activating those dormant files. So hypnotists can take you right back to any specific morning and you'll be able to remember anything. It's all there. But when we work on a big blanketed thing, repeating the person's name and really thinking about that person helps activate the files. And so the files that get activated are what get cleared. And so that's why I'm saying you may have to do it 2 or 3 times to get it all, because there'll be things that remain dormant because so much other information comes up. So hang on a second. I've got so many questions up here. I can't look at them all. So when we're wanting to do everybody that I met in this lifetime, it'll be everybody you've met in this lifetime who's upsetting you at this moment. Because it won't be able to find that amount of information. Our guides, when I'm working and I say, okay, I'm going to try to clean up, I'm going to work on like homelessness, right? And so I'll say, okay, I'm going to put myself in a Court of Atonement. I'm going to work for 5 miles in a circle around me. And I'll say, place everyone in the Court of Atonement in 5 miles around me. And I ask to analyze our timelines. And I ask for us to clean up our act. And I ask for home security for all of us. And so that might be a blanket call. I don't know how effective it is, but it's worth a try. And I've done this kind of work for, there was a homeless camp down the road. And when I went by that camp the first day, I didn't know it existed. And it just like the feeling of it, I went, oh, I'm so sick. And I, as soon as I saw it, I put it in a Court of Atonement for cleaning up its act. And I went by it a week later, and there was like 40 homeless people with trash bags picking up the thing. I thought, whoa, is that the result of the Court of Atonement? It has to be, because it was just a dump site looking, and they actually cleaned the whole outside of it. And then they opened up places for them to go, and they disbanded it. And it was disbanded within like 2 months, and it had been there for 2 years prior to me having said it. And people were like, they didn't know how they'd get rid of it. So you can use the Court of Atonement. I use what I call speed calls. I talked about them a minute ago. And there's a list of them on my website. If you go into, I can put it in here, but you'd go into the blog and just type speed in the little search file, and speed calls will come up. So hang on a second, Jackie. Let's see. If I go, if I go like that, that should bring it up. So yeah, so if you, is Jackie's dropping, is Court of Atonement, speed calls explained, she got it. Court of Atonement speed calls explained. So if you want to know a little bit more about those, that would be a really good thing to do. Let's go back to the list now. We've done one person or two people, 3 with Donald Trump. And I'd like you to try again, and using that chart, who on this chart best, is negatively impacting my energy. I'm reading mine with my brother really quick because I hadn't cleared him, and I'm like, oh, I better do that. I wrote this one different than I wrote most of the other ones, because I got rid of the word conflicts. The word conflicts is something that that my guides, that was the first thing that they brought up. And then I was realizing that problems happen that are not conflicts. And so I started saying problems, conflicts, or issues, but the booklets are already out with just the word conflicts. So I went in to basically raise my vibration, and then went in and I connected to God. And I said, when somebody says the word conflicts in the Court of Atonement, will you make that mean any and all detrimental energies? And because you can have an argument with or a disagreement with a person, and it's not really a conflict, but it is a problem that you haven't been able to agree upon. And so I realized that we needed to have better language. So the word conflicts does a lot more. Did you guys find somebody else to look at on here? So I said, okay. Okay. Yeah, somebody's talking about inhumane treatment. Yeah. So they were saying, will this work with a psychopath? I can force it to work. And it is a lot harder because their soul is not connected to their body correctly. And so you would want to say the person I know as, instead of trying to say their name, the person we know as this. And yes, it definitely can help them, but making the connection to that person can be a problem. So somebody's saying, how about with yourself? Perfect example. That's awesome. How does my body respond to me? I love this question. How does my body respond to me? Dang it, mine loves me. I was hoping we found something there for me, but I'm sure I've done this. How does my body respond to? So you can try it. And now, anybody want to show me? Oh no, not -9. Anybody else got a minus on there? +10, excellent. That was what I got. -7. Okay, so we're mad at ourselves over something. So yeah, let's give it a try. Hang on one second. I've lost what this is. So I state your name, place myself, and say your name again, into a full Court of Atonement with myself, and say your name again. I ask to analyze our timelines and resolve any and all reasons for the detrimental energies between us at their points of origin, throughout our timelines, our family lineages, and the entirety of our soul's timelines. I ask for amenable dissolution of this energy. I ask for restoration of peace. I ask for restoration of peace. I ask for restoration of peace. Deep breath and blow out. Okay, so now test, how does my body respond to me again? Okay, just looking through my people on here. How, do you want to tell me your differences that you were seeing there? There's a statement that I use. I don't think it's necessary at this time to do it, but we do often say, when we're working with ourselves, not when we're working with another person, but we'll say, I forbid this energy, any further access to my body, my energy field, or my timeline. Okay. My body to me, or me to my body, both, huh? It's interesting. Okay, well, we're seeing, so Belinda's got a -8 to a question mark. I'm not sure what you mean. Did it not give you an answer? So yeah, you're seeing a bit of a difference. Let's take a look again. So not a clear answer, maybe up one point. So ask yourself, why am I upset with me? Why am I upset with myself? And maybe something that happened, and then you could put yourself in a court of atonement with that situation. So like I could put myself in a court of atonement with the trio that I talked about as an event. I could put myself in a court of atonement with the election and resolve. So you can put yourself in a court of atonement with that event and ask to do it. Okay. Well, that's very interesting. And I was going to say, this would be very helpful for people to do. And I've done this kind of work for myself for sure. That's why it was at a +10. But for people who have autoimmune issues where their body's fighting themselves, it's because they're angry with themselves. And I did a class with you guys last year, I think, called Absorbed Siblings. And so you can ask for resolution of absorbed siblings and see if that works. So I state our names, place myself, and say your name again, into a full court of atonement for the purpose of absorbed sibling resolution. So now you could test again and see, how does my body respond to me? How does my body respond to me? And absorbed sibling might be the first place to start next time. I'll save it. I'll write it down there. Oh, sorry. Let me try that again. ASR is my speed cue, my speed typing cue, and so it didn't take. Absorbed fetus. Would absorbed fetus be an unborn, a fetus that like you carried in a pregnancy and then died and was absorbed? I asked for resolution of absorbed children. How about that? I asked for resolution of absorbed children, absorbed fetuses. Just ask for what you want. That's the whole trick to the Court of Atonement, is to just, it takes 4 things. It takes your name. Your name is a power generator. You got to get good and connected to your name. Make sure that that's working. Yeah, right now we should say, how does my body respond to my name? Anybody get lower than plus 10? I'm looking to see if anybody types in, but I haven't seen anything yet. And then just, we can do the statement again. And this side, so I state your name, place myself, say your name again, into a full court of atonement with my name, and say your name again. I ask to analyze our timelines and resolve any and all reasons for the detrimental energies between us at their points of origin, throughout our timelines, our family lineages, and the entirety of our soul's timelines. I ask for amenable dissolution of this energy. I ask for restoration of peace. One more time. I ask for restoration of peace. I ask for restoration of peace. And now say, how does my body respond to my name? And say your name and see how it responds. Chloe's asking, married or maiden name for women? I use both. I use both at the same time because I want it, when I'm saying family lineages, I want to make sure I'm grabbing those family lineages every time I use this thing. So I try to use them. And for people who have been married a lot, but they have a lot of last names and stuff, I would put yourself in a court of atonement with each of those people and resolve the conflict between yourself and them, and then use your legal name with your maiden name. So yes, yeah, and I would still, right now, anybody who's got an ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, or ex-husband or wife, I'd like us to try that right now. How does think about, the one that upset you the most? Oh. So Barb said, people keep calling me by a name that's not mine, and I totally understand that one. Just put yourself in a court of atonement with that name and ask to respond it, and see if that has to resolve the conflicts between you and being called the wrong name. Rosa, my name responds -10 to the body. I think as long as the body is healthy with the name, that's all we're looking for. I hope that helps. So right now, like I said, how does your health respond when you think about this X? I'd like for it to be an X. Think about an X that you were sexually active with, because we're going to do something special here at the end of this one. And so you'll have to follow along with me. So how does your health respond when you think about that X? And now I state your name, place myself, and say your name again, into a full court of atonement with, and say their name. I ask to analyze our timelines and resolve any and all reasons for the detrimental energies between us at their points of origin, throughout our timelines, our family lineages, and the entirety of our soul's timelines. I ask for amenable dissolution of this energy. I ask for restoration of peace. I ask for restoration of peace. I ask for restoration of peace. And now I ask to bring in any children if you have them. I ask to bring in any children. And I ask to bring in the entirety of our family lineages and whatever word you use for God and our guides. I ask for a spiritual divorce. I ask for a spiritual divorce. And we do this because we get married in church in front of God, and then get divorced in court without God. And so asking for a spiritual divorce can be very, very helpful. Can you not use your ex's name at all? No, you can use whatever name is the strongest for you. And so, but I would just clear your energy with them. Oh, so Jackie just posted in here the real speed call, or the real call for spiritual divorce. So that was really interesting. Thank you, Jackie. Yeah, I'm not going to read it out loud again, but what we just did will work. You did have a church wedding. How does this change things? It'll help it in your vows. You were being held, accountable for vows, unless you had come some way to terms with that. It can cause, celibacy. It can cause people to never marry again. It can cause all kinds of things. So hopefully clearing that. After complete, she's at a +10 now after even a complete betrayal. Wow. Okay. Wonderful. So your pendulum swung counterclockwise. Awesome. Years ago, I started using the pendulum, and it began to swing like a helicopter. Like, oh wait, I can show you exactly what it looks like with the bullet attached, like just like Raymond does. It would do this. And my husband's like, and it would even, my hand would turn over, and I would be swinging upside up, and I had no explanation for it. And my husband's like, "You're making that up," and I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm not trying to do that. It's just doing it." And then I found Raymond Grace online, and I'm like, "Look, it's happening to him too." So that's how far back that was. So +5 now with your ex. That's wonderful. And it doesn't mean that your ideals with him will change. It doesn't mean that you'll get back together. It doesn't mean that anything, it just means that when somebody says his name, your energy's not going to plummet. And that's what's important, is to try to keep our energy up. In manifestation, when we're manifesting, we get what we focus on, right? And we're trying to keep our energy really high while we think about these things that we're trying to manifest. But then somebody says your ex's name, and you're immediately steering the ship off course. And so as few things as we can have that drop our energy down, the better. I'm actually getting ready to release, like today or tomorrow, release a book that's a Court of Atonement workbook that's 25 pages of people to think about and to rate your name, just like we're doing here. It's been in the works for about 3 years, and because of this class, I decided I better get on it and just put that thing out. So that'll be available, and it'll be $5, just like the rest of the booklets. It won't be a real expensive purchase. But years ago, when I made this list and I worked on resolving the conflicts, all I did was I sit with that person and used almost like a ho'oponopono type of statement. I just kept saying, I apologize. When I knew there was a problem, I apologize for my part. And then I would say, I forgive myself for not forgiving you. I forgive myself for not forgiving you. And then pretty soon it would break and release, and I'd be able to forgive them. But for a while, I couldn't forgive them at all. So it took me, weeks of working to try to get that energy clear, where you could probably do this booklet in an afternoon, probably a week of a couple hours a day. You could do all this same work. But when I did this, rashes, eczema that was on my elbows, I had eczema on my elbows and my kneecaps and the tops of my feet, gone, like overnight, gone. I saw, I'd been having kidney stones. I didn't have any more kidney stones. My health changed drastically, and my ability to enjoy life changed drastically because of doing this work. It's not what to say for the rashes on the body. It's who got under your skin. Who are you irrational about? Hear the word rash? Irrational. Who just their energy who makes rash decisions? Who annoys you? Use the Court of Atonement between you and these people that are causing that nervous system reaction. That's what caused it to go away, was taking that list of all the people in my life and clearing it. And I began to see drastic improvement. And so that's the reason I decided I'd go ahead and put the book out. I was like, I better get that workbook out. somebody said, okay, I'm just, so somebody's saying their son had gallstones. You can look at him and say what situation was galling him, and then using this sheet of paper, the same statement, you would just say, I place, instead of myself, you would say, I place my son, and say his name into a full court of atonement with that person who's upsetting him, ask to analyze their timelines and resolve the conflict. And because it's the stress is what's causing, the big bulk of the illnesses is stress. And somebody was talking recently about parasites, but the stress is what allows the parasites to be there. So when the body's healthy, we can fight off just about anything. But when we're not healthy, that's where that's how these things come on. So so what do you do for bullies? I clean a bully's energy. I put them in a court of atonement for cleaning up their act and ask to resolve the reasons they're so angry and the reason that they're behaving that way. And just use your language. You don't have to worry so much about what I would say. Just think about it and go, what should I ask for? What's the result? Let me see if I can see something real quick here. I just wanted to open up something if I could, and I'll pop this up. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to share something, but it wasn't up on my screen. Can't share when you don't have it. There you go. So this little meme, so to speak, that'll go away in a second. It's just like an outline of the Court of Atonement, and it's the first thing that you need in order to make it work is to say your name. Our name is our power generator. Imagine walking up to the pharmacy and saying, hey, I want to pick up my husband's prescription. They'll say, okay, what's his name? And they tell me his name, right? And then they say, who are you? And they want to see some ID, right? So when you come in and you think of it that way, you want to kick it off with your name, stating your name, and then name what or who you're wanting to work on. So I place myself into a full court of atonement with that person. And you have to say the words full court of atonement in order to make it work. And then you ask to resolve the conflicts between us, to improve our health, whatever. And then 5 is to just let it go and have faith. And so allowing it to go, if you say this will never work, you're negating things. So you just kind of have to let it go and go, wow, it'll be interesting to see when this works, when and if this works. Be open to it. Allow it to have some space. If you're working between yourself, hang on one second. Where did that go? So okay, there we go. I just was seeing somebody had made a statement up here, and I was trying to vet. I'm going to just kind of go into my guides for a second and see if there's something else that they think I need to add here, rather than coming in and checking in on these questions. Let me see what's going on. So give me just a second. Okay, there's a lot of misconception about, especially in the field of energy healing, about stepping on free will and interrupting people's free will and doing things for others that might not be in their highest and best. And my guides, you can test the validity of it. Don't take please don't take my word for anything. Test and recheck and question me. I'm very open to being wrong or learning something new. But what my guides tell me is that with the Court of Atonement, because the soul has the right to refuse, there's no reason that you need to ask permission. And so just like we worked on between ourselves and Donald Trump today, you can work between Donald Trump and the people you see him having conflicts with. You can do that, but you can test what, as dowsers, we can test the outcome. What's the percentage likelihood? I don't watch the news and go, oh my God, at anything. If the news comes up in front of me and I have a gut reaction to it, I say, what percentage of truth is that? What percentage of likely is it that that could take place? And if it's at all high, I go after it. I go, okay, not on my watch, not on my watch. And I just go in and say, okay, I'm going to put this into a court of atonement for the best possible outcome. Try to put your focus away from the thing you don't want and put your focus where you do want whenever you're working. So there's definitely courts of atonement that we call where we're looking right straight at the problem and ask to resolve the reasons that problem is there. But when we get done, it's always really beneficial to say, this is what I'd like to see come out of it, and try to get that energy moving in the correct direction. So thank you for everybody who's answering all the questions for me over here. It's very helpful. I'm finding that very helpful. So give me just a second here. I want to go back in. They just want to make sure you know there is no stepping on free will here. You can't do it. It's not possible. And they would like you to know that with most other energy healing, it's not possible either. And that taking no action it's better to take action than it is to not take action, because the soul can always veto what you're doing. You know what I mean? A lot of the years ago, I got in trouble with a dowsing group for saying, "Hey, let's do some clearing for Justin Bieber and see if we can get him out of the news." And I asked it privately to the owners of the Facebook group, and they kicked me out of the group and said that would be a breach of free will. Well, my standpoint on that was, I assumed that Justin Bieber didn't realize he had attracted negative entities to him and it was very much like walking away from a person being raped. If you do just ask to clear their energy, they have a moment of clarity that they could change their mind about how they are and move forward. And my guides are like, that's the stand we should be taking, is to be helpful, do things as blessings, and know they can accept or they can deny. They can always accept or deny. Let me see if I can. So yeah, taking action. Thank you, Karen. She's saying that it's really good to know that that taking action is better than no action. So my guide always says, if you can think it about using the Court of Atonement, you should try it. There's no harm in trying it. And so if you think, I wonder if this would help. Years ago, I was at my mom's house and she had 2 little puppies, and these puppies were getting up to be about 4 months old, and they had started fighting for dominance, and they were drawing blood and hurting each other badly. Every time she'd go to feed them, there was a major war. And she said, this is what I have to do. And she picked up one puppy in her arm, and she put one puppy out on one porch and put the dog food down. And then she ran around to the other door and put the other puppy on the outside and put the dog food down. And that's how the puppies would eat. Well, the other puppy ran over and came, hackles up, come running in. And I said, hey, to her. And I said, you and you, I put you in a court of atonement now. And I asked to analyze your timelines, resolving all conflicts between you. And I put you in a court of atonement for resolution of sibling rivalry. Resolution of sibling rivalry. The hackles went down, and the puppy walked in and stuck its face in the bowl, and the 2 puppies ate out of the same bowl for the first time in a month. And so I did it with horses that were fighting over their food, and the same thing happened. Their ears came forward and they stuck their heads in the bucket and shared a grain bucket, which had never been seen before. So somebody is saying, what is the 10 to 100 at the top of that chart? That's a percentage chart. where I just said, what's the percentage of likelihood that this will come out? What's the percentage of likelihood that this will happen? And since that's one of my favorite ways of dowsing, I add my favorite tools to any chart I make. So the 100% and the plus 10 negative is a negative 10 is on every chart I hand out, because those are my favorite tools to use. You learn so much about it, more than a yes or no answer can give you. So, yeah, so if you, if you heard something on the news, you would say, is this true? And the answer is yes. If you say, what percentage of true is this? 10%, you go, oh, wait, there's a lot more false than I thought. And so you realize that you don't have the whole story. So that's why I love using plus 10, minus 10, especially with the news coming out. When you hear something bad, I'll say, okay, what percentage of likely is this? How true is that, kind of thing? Let me see let me go in and check in again, just to make sure that they've got any information that they want to give out. Oh, okay, thank you. So we'd like to do it again. Let's take a look at the, I just would like you to think of someone that you've had a problem with, that there's a problem of some sort there. And what now, you can test it. How does my energy respond to this person? And now, do you guys all have that? I don't know, I might need to give you longer time. Caroline, that would be a different class. But you can put yourself in a court of atonement with your clients, and put yourself in a court of atonement with your business to resolve the conflicts. Just try it. I can't really go into details of teaching that right now. So now we have a person in mind. I'd like you to close your eyes. And as best you can, I want you to see an image of that person. If you're not a visualizer, feel it. How do you feel looking at this person? What is it that you sense about this? So if you see them, what expression do you see on their face? What expression do you see on their face? Now let's do the clearing. So I state our names, place myself into a full court of atonement with. I ask to analyze our timelines and resolve any and all conflicts, any and all reasons for the detrimental energies between us at their points of origin, throughout our timelines, our family lineages, and the entirety of our soul's timelines. I ask for amenable dissolution of this energy. I ask for restoration of peace. I ask for restoration of peace. I ask for restoration of peace. That's moving some energy out. And so now I'd like you to you can test again if you would like, and see how your energy is responding. But I'd like you to also close your eyes and see what you sense. See what you see there. Did their expression change? Do you feel lighter when you're looking at them? Wonderful. Someone said relief. So he said they turned and walked away. Hopefully that was somebody you weren't wanting to hang around anymore. Excellent. So they went from disapproval to apologetic. That's wonderful. And so we get a really good sense we get a really good sense. Barb, you've already worked on this guy, right? Before he didn't change when you did this now. If he didn't change, you might work on the way you feel about him, because what causes the Court of Atonement not to work is our own anger, our own upset. And so if we're not willing to allow it to be gone, if we're invested in the story of it, if it's a story that we're going to retell, and not that we like it, but that we like retelling it. So somebody saw a smile. Maybe we can work on him later in the Q&A, we'll see. But we should always go after ourselves and what might be going on inside of us. And so there's a class that I gave recently that was called the in-depth approach for the Court of Atonement. And so you would say, I place myself in a Court of Atonement. After the end of it, when you get done here, you would just say, so do it again with your husband, and then say, as to resolving all reason, I'm unwilling to forgive you. As to resolving all reasons, I'm still angry with you. As to resolving all reasons, I still think you're a narcissistic jerk. I ask to resolve, whatever your thought is, aim to try to just bring that into the Court of Atonement to be resolved. Hi, are you? I was going to say we're
Teresa.
Hi,
okay,
Teresa.
Hang on. Yes, it's 3:00. So I'm going to be closing. Hi there. And after the recording, I'll do these announcements, and then we can go back to the Q&A, and it can last however long you want to make it, Amy, and keep going.
All right, so we were going to look at doing Q&A, and so if you want to turn on your camera and be seen on camera, you can raise your hand and I can unmute it. Other than that, you can we can ask. So Carolyn.
Through the chat.
Hi, thank you. I'm new to all this, and this is amazing. I'm trying to clear energies with my family, also with my late husband, who was my soulmate, but I'm still pissed that he left.
Of course.
So, I mean, because we had a mission together for a very long time. And because I'm embarking on basically a couple of new businesses involving my art, and I really need to clear the decks. So
okay, I want to make sure I've got your name right. Is it Carolyn or Caroline?
No, it's Caroline Hoskin Masters.
Yeah. All right. And so you're wanting to work on your business, right? Are you any good at visualizing?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a visual artist. This is some of my glasswork behind
me. Okay, because I can't see nothing. I mean, I can. It flashes clear as a bell and is gone. So that's the way I see. So if I see it, I close it, boom, gone.
Okay, you're probably non-visual. Yeah.
Right.
You're probably auditory or something. Yeah.
Right. So I'm auditory. So anyway, I was going to say, so I always sympathize with the people who say, but I'm not visual. I'm like, well, I totally get that.
Yeah.
So, but you can still do it. So right now, I'd like you to close your eyes. And do you have a place of business that you do it, or is it just an online type thing?
No, I create art, and I only have a small studio at home. I do it elsewhere. It's
okay.
elsewhere.
So I'd like you to create like an icon, something that, do you have a logo, right? For your business?
Actually, no.
You don't have a logo for your own business?
I have a name, Design Masters, which is a play on my last name.
Okay, so design, I love it, Design Masters. So I want you to close your eyes and I want you to see the name, Design Masters. Yeah. And I want you to notice if it's nice and clear and crisp, or if it's cloudy or foggy, or is there anything going on with it that's not perfect?
No, it's sort of amorphous. It's not clear.
It's not clear. Okay. So let's grab the worksheet here, and I want you to start here. I don't know who these are, so I'm not doing it. So to take it, put yourself in a Court of Atonement with Design Masters.
Okay, so I, Caroline Hoskin Masters, place myself into a full court.
Say your name again.
Okay, oh, sorry. I, Caroline Hoskin Masters, place myself, Caroline Hoskin Masters, into a full Court of Atonement with Design Masters. I asked to analyze, should I continue?
Yes.
I asked
Perfect.
to analyze our timelines and resolve any and all reasons for the detrimental energies between us at their points of origin, throughout our timelines, our family lineages, and the entirety of our soul's timelines. I ask for amenable dissolution of this energy. I ask for restoration of peace. I ask for restoration of peace. I ask for restoration of peace.
Okay, so now when you're looking at that, I want you to close your eyes and see the name again. How does it look?
Well, it's much more bold. It's still not really clear, but that may be because I don't have a logo yet.
Okay.
I have
Well, it's
signs.
okay. Just looking for the name, Design Masters. You know what it looks like written down.
Yeah.
So now, so I asked to resolve any and all reasons I can't see it clearly.
I asked to resolve any and all reasons that I can't see it clearly.
I asked to resolve any and all reasons I'm worried about starting this business.
I asked for any and all reasons that I'm worried about actually growing this business, because it's
Right.
already begun. Growing this business and
Right.
receiving
So,
the reward I want. Yeah.
okay, so have you ever had a conflict with a client?
Yes.
Use this statement between you and that client.
Oh, okay.
Any clients that you've had a problem with,
Yeah.
clear the energy. Without saying their name, we can do it real
Right.
quick. You have one particular client who came to mind when I said that?
Yes, there was only one that I had a problem with. And that
Okay,
was-
so
yeah.
so right here, when it gets to the name, say it in your mind, not out loud, please.
Okay,
But
well,
try
what
it again.
if I don't recall at the moment they're I can picture
okay.
them, but I can't.
It's okay. Just use
that client.
the client I know as.
Okay.
Okay.
So, and I should do it out loud. Okay.
Yeah.
Caroline Hoskin Raven Masters, place myself, Caroline Hoskin Raven Masters, into a full court atonement with
In your mind, say it.
client from last year. I asked to analyze our timelines and resolve any and all reasons for the detrimental energies between us at their points of origin throughout our timelines, our family lineages, and the entirety of our soul's timelines. I ask for amenable dissolution of this energy. I ask for restoration of peace. I ask for restoration of peace. I ask for restoration of peace.
Okay.
Whew.
So now try to take a look at your business. See the name.
Design Masters. Oh yeah, it's really large and prominent and right here as opposed to being further away.
Okay, excellent. So yeah.
And
So we're just using the
big
tool I
bold
gave you.
letters.
Right. So I'm just using the tool that I gave you. And we
Yeah.
didn't do anything else. So we just remember that you can use it.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Caroline. Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Amy Jo.
All right. So I'm going to go with Laura.
Hi, thank you so much. Sorry, let me get my camera on.
Hi, Laura.
Hi. So I am new here too. And
I just want to make a little statement that folks who do have their camera on, you will be in our recording. So
I did give that warning before we started.
okay. All right. There you go.
Okay.
So I'm having issues with my families, more specifically my mom, around money that was owed to me from my dad's estate.
Okay, so let's just try it again. Close your eyes and see your mother. And what does she look like?
A very unhappy woman.
All right. And you've already done this with her.
I'm sorry?
You've already tried this major statement with her?
Yes.
Okay, so let's try it again. When you get here, go bring in with my mother and the money from my dad's estate. I bring in my mother, my father, and the money from my dad's estate. So try that.
And I'm going to say all my siblings too, because there's involvement there too.
But
so.
you'll have to do them under your breath and do their names to kind of bring them in, okay? Sorry, I bumped my mouse. Okay, go ahead, give it a try.
So I, Laura Herman, placed myself, Laura Herman, into the full Court of Atonement with my mom,
mother?
my dad,
Right, say their names, and it doesn't
My
have to be
mother.
out loud, but
Oh, okay. With Deborah Herman, Arthur Herman, and all the money in the estate,
bring in my siblings.
and all of my siblings.
And now in your mind, start naming them first, middle, and last as much as you can. And let us know when you're done.
I have 7, so it'll be a while.
Okay. Dun, do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. I get to go with the whole song today. Um, did you remember them all?
Yes.
Okay, so now go on. Once you get them
I
all.
asked to analyze our timelines and
Right.
to resolve any and all reasons for the detrimental energies between us and at their points of origin throughout our timeline, our family lineage, and the entirety of our
Yeah,
soul's
it's
timeline.
lineages.
Lineages.
Right,
All
got
of
it.
our family lineages. And the entirety of our soul's timelines. I ask for amenable dissolution of this energy. I ask for restoration of peace.
Ugh. I don't know if I stopped the share or not. Yes, I did. Okay. I clicked a button and the wrong button and things changed, but I didn't know if I did it right. So now try looking at your mother. How does she look? The same?
So I feel like her face has calmed a little bit, but there's like a lot of gray around her.
Okay. Say, I'm requesting transcendence assistance for my father.
I'm requesting transcendent assistance for my father.
I'm requesting transcendence assistance for anyone in our energy field.
I'm requesting transcendent assistance for anyone in our field.
In our energy field, yeah. And so now how does she look?
Like she completely turned away.
She completely turned away. Okay. But she doesn't look aggressive now.
Right. I mean, her face just isn't showing.
Okay. I asked to resolve any old reasons she's turning her back on me.
I asked to resolve any and all reasons she's turning her back on me.
Or that I've turned my back on her.
Or that I've turned my back on her.
Did that change anything?
Oddly, she like split into 2 people, one
Okay.
facing me and one.
Okay, say I'm requesting absorbed sibling resolution for us.
Requesting absorbed sibling resolution for us.
Now, how's she look?
It's still like the separation, but the one that was turned away like started to turn towards me.
Okay, interesting. I don't have time to really keep going with this. You'll have to come to a one-on-one and we'll try it again. I do one-on-ones every other week on Tuesdays. It won't be this coming week, but the following week.
Okay.
Thank
you.
I have a class tomorrow. I can do some stuff at the end of it, but tomorrow's class is about time. All right. Well, I'm sorry, Laura, that we weren't able to clear that better for you, but you might be able to see some results. But it does tell you that there's something going on with her where you should work on her energy a little more.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, because that being that visual, if you're seeing that split, something's going on. So let's go ahead and move on and try to get to a couple other people. Karen Krupa.
Hi, I'm sorry, I turned off my camera by mistake.
That's okay.
Okay, so I really trying to work with my sister's energy. I suspect her soul is not fully in her body, and she's had depression for years, but what's happening is since
Let's let
COVID, she got sick, so she's
Oh,
physically
okay.
sick. She's
Well,
physically
let's just work on her rather than
okay.
yeah, so it's since she got sick, she's been different. Um,
Oh, she's according to my mom, she's a skeleton
oh,
and her right foot is swollen and so she's not doing good.
oh, okay.
She's
So if you close your eyes and see her now, what do you see?
okay. Uh I see like she's like falling apart.
Okay. So you see her, you do see her though. So
Oh yeah.
now, uh, so we're gonna work a little differently here. We're gonna use a speed call that's
Okay.
called, um, d requesting, wait, let me see if I can get him, I'm out of the frame here. Give me just a second. Uh, Optimization of divine life force energy connections. And all of us, let's just do it for ourselves and you do it for your mother too. So I state our names.
Should I say it?
You can just do it in your mind behind me. That's fine. You don't have to do
Okay.
it. I state our names. Place myself, and say your name again, into a full court of atonement with, and bring in someone you're trying to help. I ask for optimization of divine life force energy connections for both of us. I ask for optimization of divine life force energy connections. I ask for restoration of self. I ask for restoration of health. All right, so now try looking at her and how does she look?
Let me
And
see.
I'd be curious with the lady who I just worked with, if her mother changed when we did that. Lost her.
Do you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. She did change instead of like crying and covering her eyes and falling apart, she has a little bit of a look of peace,
Okay.
and stillness, which she hasn't had. I mean,
Okay.
I understand she's not sleeping too, so like she's very on edge.
Okay. So
Um,
right now, I state your name,
I, Karen Lee Krupa,
place my sister and say her name
place my sister Dana Elizabeth Krupa
into a full court of atonement
to a full court of atonement
for the purpose of restoring her sleep.
for the purpose of restoring her sleep.
I ask to resolve the reasons she's not sleeping.
I ask to resolve the reasons she's not sleeping.
And just try it and see how it works.
Okay.
All right. I have to let you go with that.
Thank you. Thank you, Amy Jo.
You're welcome. Francois, I don't know how to say it, if I'm saying that right.
Yes, hello.
Hi. Hi.
Hi, hello, Joemi. I would like to ask for some help for my twin sister who live in France. I haven't seen her for 2 years, and she's facing health issues, a heart related to a massive load of stress in connection with her mom, with her mom in a situation of being very angry with everything in her life.
Okay. And she's, I want to make sure I'm understanding. Is she, when you're saying mom, is it her being a mom that's the problem, or her,
Our mom.
your
Our
mother?
Our mother is facing a also very stressful situation, and she did not resolve any issues.
Okay.
And
So
she's
let's
angry.
just, what I want
Yeah.
you to do is I state your name, and then instead of saying place myself, say place my sister. Try that.
I, Françoise Colette Tran-Pellet, place my sister Laurence Pellet
Into a full court of atonement
into a full court of atonement
with our mother.
with our mother. Do I name her?
Yes.
Marie-Denise Buffat Pellet.
I asked to analyze our timelines.
I asked to analyze our timelines
Keep going.
and resolve any
Perfect.
all reason for the detrimental energies between us at the points of origin throughout our timelines, our family lineage, and the entirety of our soul's timelines. I ask for amenable dissolution of this energy I ask for restoration of peace.
Right. Now
I
take it
ask for
deep.
restoration of peace. I ask for
Perfect.
restoration of peace.
Now, can you kind of picture your sister? How's she looking?
At peace.
How does your mother look?
Quiet.
And now the same way that we just did it, if we did it again, I'm not going to do it now, but you could put my mother in a full court of atonement with her situation. Ask to analyze their timelines and resolve any all reasons. You would just change the wording, and you can write it out on a separate sheet, make it usable for you. But
Yes.
it'd be the same thing.
Thank you
Okay, you're so welcome.
very
Okay.
much.
Okay. So, Rosa.
Okay, thank you. I just
Hi.
have a quick question. Are we going to get a manual for this class like usual, or is it just the sheet that we've been
It's just the
working?
sheet.
Okay, thank you.
You're getting it ahead of time.
Okay, thanks.
All right. So Sylvia.
Thank you. I was piqued, my interest was piqued when I heard you say something about health issues. So I wonder, as I just heard you mention earlier, something about resolving the reasons that that I'm not healing. I wonder if
Right.
that's okay, generally.
You can try that. And then one of the things I like to do is you can ask, is there, you're a dowser, correct?
I knew a new dowser.
A new dowser. You can just ask, is there someone else's, am I upset with somebody that's causing this? Is there an upset in me with somebody else? And nobody else has to change, by the way. I really want to stress that what needs to change is our reaction to it. And so if we can take the charge out of the situation, we'll improve without them ever saying one thing. I'm sorry, they don't ever have to say it. We just need to feel that release from it.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. But yeah, I would go in and kind of ask yourself, whose energy is in this? Who am I? Using the sheet I have there. Is there someone's, and is there anyone on here whose energy is entangled in this? And allow whatever that comes up. Cousin came up when I did it right now, so I don't know if you got a cousin that you've got an issue with. So, okay, well, Sylvia, I hope that helps.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Helen.
Hi, Amy.
Hi.
Hi, thank you for taking my call. And I have a question is, I'm selling my house right now, and it has been on the market for 3 months. No one buying it. What should I do?
Did you try, I would do just the exact same thing. Gonna be a little bit weird wording here, but just do the house, and then I would do it again and say with selling my house, because sometimes we think we want to sell the house, but there's all the memories and there's all the thing, and part of us doesn't want to sell it, even though we have to sell the house, can be the mantra. So first I would do it and say, so place myself in a full court of atonement with my home.
Okay.
Okay. And close your eyes. What's the sale of the house look like? If you see your house with the for sale sign out front, how does it look?
Oh, I already feel something in my belly.
Okay. All right. With my home, and let's try to speed it up. Say when you get here, say, place myself in a full court of atonement with my home and the sale of my home.
And the sale. Okay. So I, Helen Wong, place myself, Helen Wong, into the full court of atonement with my home and selling my home. And I ask to analyze our timelines and resolve any and all reasons for the detrimental energies between us and their points of origin. And throughout our timelines, our family lineages, and the entirety of our souls timelines. I ask for amendable dissolution of this energy. I ask for restoration of peace. I ask for restoration of peace.
Okay. Now, how does it feel?
I feel this heat on my face. Wow. Okay.
All right. Well, good luck.
Thank you. I should do more, right? More than one time.
No,
For-
no,
No?
once is enough.
Wow.
But
Okay.
you can think that you can bring in other people. And if your children might be, their energy might be, I don't want you to sell the house, Mom. You'd want to put them in a court of atonement with the sale of the house.
No, I'm the only
See?
one. So
Right,
nobody
okay.
else. Do I need to put in like the new owner of the house, like work with that energy?
No,
No?
no,
Okay.
it'll just attract the right one.
Okay. Thank
Right.
you.
You're welcome. But you can ask for that. I asked to attract a great buyer. Just say it right now. I asked to attract the perfect buyer for this house.
I asked to track the perfect buyer, the perfect new owner of this house.
Perfect. I like
Thank
that. Okay. Yeah, be very specific. I love that. So Lashan, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Lashan Sung.
Hi, thank you so
Hi.
much. Today's issue is about health. So I'm thinking about my daughter. She has persistent eczema. We've tried a lot of different things, and right now it's manifesting in the insides of her elbows, and it just won't stop itching there in her neck.
Okay.
Okay.
So using the sheet that you have, kind of figure out the key players in her life. And then ask, how does her health respond to these people? So her dad, her brothers and sisters, the kids at school, her teacher, where is that problem coming from?
Well, to be honest, sometimes I do a muscle testing technique on her to help her with muscle dysfunctions because she's an athlete. And lately, when I test her, she starts itching. So I think it's me.
Oh, well, use yourself between her. Did you already do that between you and her?
I've tried that, and I've tried her dad too.
I mean, today when we
yeah.
were doing this. What?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did.
So just give it a little time and see. But I would make a list and see, because it might be other people too.
I tried visualizing her like you were doing with other people, and I can only see it's like the right side of her is kind of fading in and out in the image, like a photo of her that I see in my mind.
So, and you've used absorbed sibling resolution with her?
I've not tried that yet, but the only thing I can think of on the right is that she was in a car accident when she was a toddler, and the car crashed to the right.
Okay, so I would do the same thing with the car. I have a whole process called time jumping where, are you familiar with it?
I've heard about you I've seen you do it a little bit, but I don't remember
I would
the
try a time
details.
jump back and prevent that car accident.
Okay, how do I just envision that, or?
Yeah, there's all kinds. Go into time jumping, I think, on my blog. I'll let you have the information on that. This is a whole other kettle of fish to be opening in here.
Okay. Okay, great.
Yeah, put yourself in a court of atonement for the purpose of asking divine intervention to assist me to alter the past, and then in your mind, just visualize stepping in front of her and saying, "Don't get in the car. I've seen the future. You're not going. Slam the door. Whatever you want. Prevent her from getting in the car that day." So you go back before the accident and stop her from getting in the car.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. But I would do the other to check and see if there's people with the problem.
Okay.
All right, Jaya, we've coming to the end. I don't know where Diane is, if she's still around here. Jackie, do you know what time I'm supposed to call it done?
Where did Teresa go?
I'm here. I would say it's been half an hour, so any moment now would be good.
Okay, got three.
There's
people
one question in the chat there you might want to grab.
You don't want to tell me it because I don't have it open.
Can we time jump back and prevent something like contracting COVID? I know we can, but you probably want
what I do with an illness, if I know I've been where I got it, I time jump back and I grab a invisible can of spiritual Lysol. And I one time was talking with a lady and she'd gotten COVID at the doctor's office. The receptionist was sick. And so I just had her walk up with her spiritual can of Lysol and spray that receptionist down. I am not getting this from you. Time jumped back into her mind, and a lot of her symptoms shifted. Her nose immediately cleared up while we were talking, and she was like, wow, that worked. That was amazing. So I know that it does work to go back and try to stop it where before you contracted it. It'll get rid of a lot of the lingering energies of it.
Before we lose anybody else, the chat, go to the top. There's 3 dots there. Save the chat because there's lots of links shared in there. And also you had 285 is the top that I saw, which was 2 less than Raymond.
I saw 291.
Oh, you did? Okay,
I did
good.
see 291. So he has to. I was like, I was gonna say something. I was gonna say, where's 2? And I was like, oh, I can't interrupt. Gotta keep going. We're at 201 still. That's pretty good. I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take 285.
I was trying to field everything, so I'm
I
glad
know,
everything worked out okay.
We can't see him.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thank you for watching.
Thank you very much, Jackie. You're amazing.
All right. Well, let's try to take
Go
another
ahead,
caller
Amy Jones.
because
Finish.
Jay, I can't take my eyes off of her for some reason. Jay,
Okay.
are you there?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
What can I do for you?
Oh, sorry. Oh, can you hear me? Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Hi. It's been an amazing call. Thank you so much. I've had a thing all my life where I've felt that I was a mistake and I shouldn't be here. And now I've lost my daughter and my life has stopped. And it's like I'm getting into such a mess with my life. And I think that's, yeah, I'm just not sure.
Okay. I'm just going to try something random. Same sheet of paper. And try just saying, place myself in a full court of atonement with, how? So you feel like you don't belong here. Is that it? Or you don't feel like?
Yep.
What?
But that was a mistake. It's not about not belonging. It was just a mistake and I shouldn't be here.
Okay, so I place myself into a full court of atonement with the mistake that brought me here. Does that work?
Yeah, wow, amazing.
So try that.
I, Jaya Jameson, place myself, Jaya Jameson, in a full court of atonement with the mistake that I shouldn't be here.
No, with the mistake of being here, with the mistake that caused me to be here.
Place myself, Jaya Jameson, in the full court of atonement with the mistake that I shouldn't be here.
That's not it. With the mistake that brought me here.
Sorry. Oh, with the mistake that brought me here.
Perfect. Just keep going.
I ask to analyze our timelines and resolve any and all reasons for the detrimental energies between us and
at their points of origin.
At their points of origin through our timelines, our family lineages, and the entirety of our soul's timelines. I ask for amenable dissolution of this energy. I ask for restoration of peace. I ask for restoration of peace. I ask for restoration of peace.
Well, I certainly hope you belong here, because if you don't, then God makes mistakes. And I didn't think that was possible. Tilt.
I've heard that over and over from people, but it doesn't take the feeling away.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what the circumstances are that make you feel that. I worked with a lady recently, and she was born out of rape from her mother by her mother's father. And so her father is her grandpa. And my guides said, well, you're saying that God makes mistakes then, and said, that's not possible. And they said, maybe what you need to start believing in is immaculate conception, because it's a miracle that you're here. It's a miracle that we're all here.
My mother told me when I was very young that she hated me and wished I was dead. So I don't know whether it's come in after that or it was before that.
Yeah. Put yourself in a court of atonement with her and ask to
Yeah.
resolve that. But the best thing I can do for you is tell you on the website is the Change Your Beliefs worksheet. I'm sure
Okay.
Jackie probably has that on a quickly, but I can do that, Jackie. I've got it.
Thanks so much, Amy Jo.
The Change
Well,
Your
work on
Beliefs
yourself.
worksheet.
It's in the chat.
Yeah. So I just dropped it in there so she can click that, go there, download that page, and you start saying, okay, my mother told me that she hid me and she wished I wouldn't been born. However, you said that. As to resolving all reasons I believe that's true. As to resolving all reasons that is true. And it starts to tear it down. If you do it like 6 or 7 times, you should be able to get rid of that.
Okay, lovely.
Okay.
That's
All right.
awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right. And I'm going to jump on to the next one real quick. Wilma.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Wonderful. I apologize, my camera's not functioning. What's amazing is I had raised my hand to ask about my sister once the physical issues were up. And I have the exact same thing that the lady you just spoke to has, because I've known I wasn't a planned pregnancy and I wasn't wanted. And when they found out that my mother was pregnant, they wanted a boy and they were going to name that boy William after my dying uncle. And that's how I got Wilma. So it's just too funny. So I'm grateful I was writing that down and I'm going to run that process myself. My younger sister, Helen, she's 66, had a very bad fall and she lost the use of her right eye, and her left knee has a hairline fracture that if it doesn't heal on its own is going to require surgery. And I've been holding space that her eyesight returns. Like I would love that miracle, but also that her the hairline fracture heal on its own. And now when you're talking about timeline,
so what I would do is go back to just a few minutes before she took that fall.
Okay.
And then in your mind, so right now I state your name. You guys can
I,
do this
Wilma
if you know
Marie
somebody.
Ross,
Place my sister into a full court of atonement. Into a full court of atonement.
Into a full court of atonement.
Yeah, and I didn't hear if you used her whole name, but it sounded like you did.
I did, yes.
Okay. For the purpose of requesting divine intervention.
For the purpose of requesting divine intervention.
I ask for assistance with altering the past.
I asked for assistance with altering the past.
Right. Now say, I would like you to close your eyes and see your sister and imagine it's like 5 minutes before she takes that fall, or let's say 30 seconds before she takes that fall. And in your mind, pretend you're a spirit and you just jump in the room and say, stop right there. I've seen the future. Say, stop right there.
Say that out.
Yeah.
Stop right there.
I've seen the future.
I've seen the future.
You need to do something different and make sure you stay upright. So I don't know if you know what happened to her.
You need to do something different. Don't take that next step.
Right.
Because the 30 seconds before would be before she lost her balance, right?
Right. So just say, sit down. Sit down for a minute.
Sit down for a minute.
Right. And now just imagine everything's okay. All right, I'm going to leave you with that, but that's the way to do it.
That feels good. Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Because what I'm seeing is her not going forward.
Right. It'll just help things speed up in the recovery.
Thank you.
All right.
When will this replay be going out so I can write the whole thing down and do it again? Or you don't think I need to do that?
It'll be like in 2 weeks. I don't know. They take a week or two. Could be
Usually
any
about
day.
2 weeks.
Would you say 2 weeks? Yeah, generally 2 weeks. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And let me get to, I can't figure out how to say your name. Akanksha. How do you say it?
Yeah, Akanksha. You said it correctly. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Yes. So first of all, I've got all your books and I sort of have taken a lot of your classes, but today I still learned something new. So thank you for everything that you do. So I have a son, he's 14 now. He was born with Down syndrome. And I was wondering, and we were in UK then, and when we moved to US, since the age of 7, he's had a series of health issues, which one they're in UK, but they happened in the US. And I'm just wondering, can I do time jumping and go back right to his time of conception? And can I take away all the issues that he may be facing because of that trisomy 21, like that, chromosome 21 being 3 instead of 2? Is that possible?
I don't know. It's worth, Abraham said there's no harm.
Yep.
So you can try.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
And you should try. I don't know the answers to that one. But yeah, you can definitely try that.
And for the last 7 years, he's been through a lot. He's facing a lot of health issues, and obviously I'm like totally committed to him, to resolve it. But we are just very, very tired. Is there a way that I can bring my whole family, we have a daughter as well, and just pray for, I do restoration of peace a lot. And my daughter just goes by your FCOA like crazy. She does them all the time. She really believes it.
Oh, wonderful.
But like, is there a way? I don't know what to do. Maybe I'm not doing something right. Maybe it's just too much pressure. How can I, help him, but help myself and family as well?
Well, one thing to do is to grab the Change Your Beliefs worksheet.
Yep.
And get rid of any thoughts that you have that he's struggling.
Okay.
Make sure you get rid of those. And you can use that there's another blog post on there that's called Pain Relief, trauma relief. And that's where you rip it up and say, no, forbid that. Because we don't realize how much our belief system creates that vision before us. So if we believe that a person is suffering and they're struggling, then we kind of create that in the future. So we want to make sure we get that out of our system.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And but I like the idea of the time jump and try that.
Yep.
Ask for altering the past. I has to remove were you saying he has the extra chromosome? He's
Chromosome on. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I asked to resolving all reasons he has that. I asked to remove it and see if that works.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Okay, you're welcome. Oh, somebody said if he's sicker in the US than in the UK, look at the differences in the food. We allow a lot of things that are banned in Europe. So yeah, that's a good thing to look at. All right. Okay, well, I'm done. So Jackie, are you around there?
I am. Teresa's usually the one who closes it up.
I am. So
remember to save the chat. At this point, you have to hit it again.
Yeah, save the chat.
Or you'll miss everything that's been put in since the last time. You did it. So I'm going to actually do that. And okay.
I'd like to put a plug in for tomorrow's class and say I have a class going out tomorrow that's about stress caused by time. So, and if you want to know if you have any stress from time, just try repeating a minute. I'm late, I'm late, I'm late, and notice what happens in your nervous system. And so I've been working on trying to get rid of some of that. So I just thought I'd put it in since I had to cancel it last week. Maybe there was a reason.
So you could tell all of these people about it.
That's it.
So,
Amy Jo, I was
yes?
looking at your website and there's actually 2 classes listed there and it's not clear if they're on different days or not. One's at 1 minute.
Yeah, they're 1 minute different. And that's because that system that I use, I can have up to 1,000 people in it. But once it hits 100 people in my book, it deletes their email addresses. It's a glitch.
Thank you, Acuity.
That's Acuity. And so I've just make them 1 minute apart with 100 people and
good to know.
So that I can keep adding the so I can send everybody the replay.
Yeah, I saw that picture, but I wanted to confirm that it wasn't like 2 different days or some weirdness that got
right.
it. Thank you.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so thank you very much. Yeah, no, it's the exact same class, same day.
Well, thank you very much, Amy Jo. It's been awesome as usual. And
thank you. So either one of those,
put in a plug for having me back again.
Oh, wonderful. Let me know when.
I don't know if I okay, so hopefully everybody heard that, and we'll see you all on November 1st with Raymond Grace at 1:30 p.m. Pacific time. please come in early because it'll help us start on time.
Right.
And all right, that's it. Anything else, Jackie?
Not that I
You
can think of.
that I need to say? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and close the meeting. And Amy Jo will probably give you a call.